Okay, so welcome to Hanging Out with Jelly. And by that I mean Jelly 007. I have another channel that does cooking videos, and that is why this is being built. And it is my pantry. And it's about a 12 by 12, I think it's 13 by 11 room. And I'm going to put in shelves that I can use to store maybe canned goods and that type stuff, but mainly my Instant Pot, my Ninjas, my air fryers, my air grills, my indoor grills. And I am designing it for that. So I'm going to show you is my adjustable shelving method. And that's what I'm going to do here. Now this is just one wall. I intend to go all the way around. And it's a work in progress. I'm going to build this part first and then see what I think I need next. And that's just what I'm doing. And my adjustable part, I'm going to try and explain a little bit. But like, here is my theory. And you can see this is a shelf that I have cut already. Now, it's not supported on the front side. It's just tightly fit where it's kind of wedged in back here on this side. And you can see it goes all the way to the wall. Well, I can't stand an opening where something can fall off. And same thing here. So what I'm doing is I'm using this for a brace. And I've got this laying here because I'm about to put the top one in, the last one. And all I'm going to do, I'm laying it here to align it with that, this, and that, so I can take my drill my hole right here in all three of them, move it to where I have it marked, level it, and anchor it. Now, the adjustable part, it's not an easy adjust. It's not, because I really intend to never adjust it again. But I'm making it where I can fairly simple. And when the video's over, I'll try and show you again. But here's the theory, and this is the best time to show it. I've got one of these. I call them they're Torx bit screws. They're screws. They're 2.5 inches long, and that is critical when you're using a 2x4 and a 2x2 or anything that's 2 inches thick, because that puts that almost a perfect length. I'll get to that maybe in sometime in the video, but the 2.5 inches is what you want. And for a 2x4 to a 2x4 or a 2x2 to a 2x2. So all I do is I anchor it in the center. I get it clear, and then I get it, roughly where I want it with that mark. I anchor it in the center. I level it. I anchor it here, I'm saying, then I level it, and then I anchor it here and anchor it there. These are not even tied to the wall. All they're tied to is at the top. Now, if they ever give trouble, say they bow, then I can put a Tapcon or something in there into my poured wall and make it anchored, and I won't have to worry about it moving at that point. But my intent is right now, I'm going to show, I may get a little scattered and it may be hard to follow, but if you will, I think you'll like this design, is if you see these notches in the front, I've got, I think it's 6, well, if you count them, I think it's 6 shelves I have already notched out to fit. I laid them down, I marked them with 2x4s, I got everything marked, and I used I have a reciprocating saw that I cut those notches out with to fit. And each shelf is identical to fit here, here, and here. That gives me no gap on the wall, like I said before. But the part about the adjustable is these Torx bit screws that are made for decking. They're expensive. They're not cheap, but I mean, nothing is. So I can put one here, and one down there, and obviously there'll be another 2x4 right here, and another one there and there that they'll be anchored into. Well, if I ever want to change the height, all I got to do is back out like 6 screws and move whichever shelf I need to. But I've thought of that where hopefully I'll never have to adjust them, because I do, like I said, Instant Pot, Ninja Foodie videos mainly, and a lot of air fryers. Well, that's this shelf right here. That's where all of these will go, and I may run this completely around the room. Don't know yet. That's why I said it's a work in progress. But that is 18 inches, which is the same thing a countertop is between your cabinets and your countertop. So I doubt they'll ever design a kitchen gadget that won't fit on one of those. So I will have an 18-inch gap right here to put that and plus it's at this height. And something I hate, two things I hate. Cabinet doors, I can't stand trying to open a door and get something in. Don't want cabinet doors. But I can also literally walk in at at almost arm, waist high, and just slide it in, whatever I'm putting up right here. So that's pretty much the gist of what this small part of my 13 by 11 or whatever it is close to that. This is the small part of what this will be, but that's how I'm starting. Once I get this done, I'm going to think it out further, and as I go around, I'm going to make it work for everything I need. Canned goods, pasta, beans, everything. And that's what some of this is here. So anyhow, I'll bring y'all back in a few days and we'll see how it looks. The next big thing that I think is going to work real well, and we'll soon see, is this is my method for lining up my shelves and make it quick and simple. And you can see the 2x4s against the wall. All of these are anchored already. And if you can see, I've already placed this 2x4 here. And I perfectly aligned it, because if you look out there, you'll see I already had the notches in my shelves. What I did, I lined this 2x4 up, or that's my intention, and that's what I'm about to do. And I've already drilled a hole in line with this shelf. So I know I am perfectly aligned with that. I'm going to do the same thing on every shelf. Now, I won't have to worry about it leaning forward or backwards, and I don't have to worry about using levels or any of that, because my concrete is level. So what I'm going to do right now, or I don't know if I'm going to try and do it on camera, but because I can't reach everything and it might take two hands, I might have to get baby doll involved. But my point is, I'm going to align this perfectly, because the notches are cut in my shelf, like I said. I'm going to place that right there, and I'm going to run that screw in and pick up. As a matter of fact, let's do it. Right here. Just like this. Whoops, wrong way. Now, that particular shelf, and you can see, all I'm going to do is move it back out to where it fits the shelf. And I'm going to do that with every shelf here. I'm going to have every one of these, it'll look like this. And I'm only going to do the center one. That's my intent. I haven't finished this yet, but that is my thought process right now. I'm only going to do the center screw, and then I'm going to move this out to where it has to be. And I'm going to anchor everything on this end and get it ready. And if you get the idea, and they'll all be right here. And all I got to do is set my shelves in. And in fact, I'll show you the part I'm going to do with that. I'm going to set them all at the bottom to start with. We bring them up, set them in one at a time. So we'll see how that goes, because we've never tried this, but we are. So be right back, hopefully. There's what I used, a reciprocating saw to cut these reliefs for the 2x4. And then I took a sander, I had to find it, and I well, not these, but I dress them up a little bit to make sure they're slick and smooth, and they fit. Because you can see, like right there, I'm not perfect on that, but when I take that 4-inch disc grinder with a sandpaper on it, I can make that really good. But they're not, I'm not trying to make them pretty. You can see they're off a little bit, there's no doubt. But, it's not like I'm trying to make it pretty. I'm trying to make it a shelf. That's my point. Okay, I have got a lot done, but I wanted to show you at this stage. So, kind of a recap, because the next time I do a video, it's going to be because at least these shelves are completed. So I wanted to touch on a few things that may help you a lot, especially if you're a kitchen gadget person, because I almost missed a couple of things. And one was, if you heard me say I wanted 18 here, well, there's an 8-quart Ninja, and here's a 6.5-quart. Here's the Ninja Dual Zone. I got plenty of room. I'm even thinking of some way maybe of storing lids up here. Don't know. That's all work in progress. Now, a couple of other things I did, I was shooting for a 12-inch gap, and I've got it in here. And you can see this gallon of vinegar has, I'm going to say, a 1/16 of an inch of clearance. And you can't just pull it out. You got to tilt it over. So you know, keep that in mind. And that's just on that shelf, because honestly, these shelves are just for my canned goods. But you can see the Lea & Perrins, it clears. A bottle of wine, you'd have to tilt over to get out. But maybe you can see, just I got normal items sitting here. This is nowhere near complete. As a matter of fact, this is not even anchored. And that's because me and Baby Doll just got the shelves set, and what we did is, like I explained, I set them all on the floor. We set this up, and then we set them in. And it's not even supported on this end. That's because I'm using 3/4 redwood. Now, I would have rather I had maybe maple or birch, maybe, but I like redwood. I like the way it smells. It's red oak plywood. It's got a unique smell, and you don't really smell it. It's not strong, but you can smell it, if you know what I mean. Kind of got that barrel smell. But anyhow, what I'm getting at is the reason I got the red oak, quite honestly, was because it was the easiest to get off the shelf. They were all $55 a sheet, which leads to something. Here's why I went with 15.5, because when you have it, they have a table there that they can lay it down and cut this to a precise cut. I mean, it'll be exact, every single one of them, if they do it right. And there's what I had left. Well, they didn't want to go any further than that, and I don't blame them, because that last cut gets a little, you know, edgy. And I even used this. You see right here where I put that screw in, I used it to make some marks and stuff. I put it in that center and used it as that to make some marks, and I used it. But the last thing I want to say, I guess, before I end this is like this. I'd love to tell you this was planned, but these right here fit perfect. And if I had it do over again, I might even would have shot for this. But luckily, I hit that perfect. Now, there's things you got to think about, and I'm going to talk a long time. I'm going to say a bunch, because if you're building one of these, I would have loved to have found this video when I was doing it. You got to consider, if you notice, well, you can't see it, but there's a mark. Well, actually, I sanded it off. I had a mark in the wrong place because I had forgot to, I had forgot to compensate for the 3/4 inch of this plywood that was going to raise up whatever I was putting on it. And at the same time, I kind of realized I was afraid, you know, I wasn't going to have enough room to set them in easy. So that's when I decided to make this the same size as my countertop, between my countertop and my cabinets, which is, actually this one's 18.5 inches from here to here. So I'm going to think of a few more things I should say, you know, kind of. But that's pretty much the gist. Just make sure whatever you're going to put in them, make sure you got that clearance, including your shelf once you add it. And if you're using this type stuff, consider it all. And here's my plan. And this is a 1x3. And just so you'll know, because when I bring you back, this will be done. But that's going to be my face board right there. And the only reason I hadn't put one up is because I don't have my finish nailer here. My son has it. So when I get it, I'm going to put these in right here. I've got an orbital sander that I'm going to touch up on the shelves. They're slick, but I'm going to slick them up a little bit. It's kind of fun. I'm not going to lie. It's interesting. I changed these 4 or 5 times, and that's what I think. It's just what makes it fun. And I'm not saying you can't go get a contractor to do this, but I'll tell you something. If you were using a contractor, and I've done this before, and when I start building something, I change my mind about 10 times, they don't like that. Now, then usually they'll charge you every time you change your mind. You can do this yourself. It's simple, but that is really nice to be able to pop these out, that out, and change this shelf. If I want to lower that, if I want to make it where, and that's one of the things I'm doing because it's a work in progress, either I'm going to make more of these, more of this height shelf all the way around, or I could just remove this one and move this one down or move this one up with 6 screws. I love it so far, and me and Baby Doll both are excited. She's been down here helping me, and we like it, and we're looking forward to it. And I'll say this, like I said, I can talk forever, and I'm going to stop. But the 3/4 plywood, people say you don't need that. And I kind of agree. It is overkill. But if I did a before and after, I had a big mistake. Not a mistake, but I had 4x8 sheets, 3 of them, of OSB 3/4 inch if you know what OSB is. And they were in the center of this room. And that was what I had here before that I built for some storage. Well, it sagged. And I'll be honest with you, I had it supported real well, but it was OSB. I learned a lesson. I'm overkill from now on. I don't want to worry about my shelving doing anything but staying just like this. So there you go. Like I said, I'm nowhere near complete on this, and you can see how well it's doing. That's not even anchored. None. Well, a lot of this isn't. I don't have screws in some of these on this end, but that doesn't matter. When you come back, this will be around all of them, and hopefully it'll look really good. And I think you could even do this in one of them high-end homes. You know, if you're planning on your custom home, if you've got a room, if you just take your time, or maybe start on it, and you may have to change it 2 or 3 times in the middle of building it to get exactly what you want. And just don't let it burn you out. Just do it. I'll see y'all in a few days, hopefully, when all this is complete. I'll be back. All right, here it is. Phase 1 of the pantry project of mine. And you can see my kitchen gadgets are all here, it looks like, but that's not true. If you look over here, you'll see more because they take up a good bit more space than you would think. But, you know, I am planning phase 2, which will pick up some of my grills and my crock pots that are not there. There's 2 or 3 Instant Pot Ninjas over there that's not there. But my intentions are to have them there at some point. I want them all at waist high because I want to be able to come in and grab them when I need them easily. So, but the other thing is like I could move these shelves and put, say, I could lower this one or raise this one or take one out, whatever I want to. And that's the beauty of my shelving, my pantry, if you ask me. And that is the fact that I used decking screws, and there's 6 screws. And I know I'm repeating myself on some of this, but there's 6 screws in each shelf that I would have to take out and raise or lower any of them. And this, by the way, I put in with these finishing nails, but it's simple to pop out, and I may go back with screws if I ever have to move it. But I put them in with finishing nails now just to kind of give it that custom look. And you could make this look a lot more like a custom cabinet if you wanted to, but this is in my closet, mine, so it doesn't have to be real pretty. But it turned out real well. Now, I'll say a couple of things that like I said, I'm probably repeating, but like here's what I have in it. Everything here is $207. Now, that's not including the anchor or the fasteners or anything, but the 2 sheets, that's all that is. 2 sheets of that 4x8 plywood that was $55. But like I said, you take it to Home Depot, they have a big table, you tell them 15.5 or whatever you want, and they rip it perfect every time. And that gave me 15.5 inch, 8 feet long, 3/4 inch red oak plywood for, well, it would be, I got 3 per sheet out of it, so that's less than $20 a sheet. I couldn't find it any other way that would have been that cheap. But that's my point. You can adjust these easily up and down and make them fit whatever you want them to fit. But that's one thing I will say: go before you start. Go buy stuff like this, whatever you're wanting to use. Or make sure if you got kitchen gadgets that they'll fit, and then build your shelves to fit. I got lucky right here, and lucky in a couple other places. But again, it's adjustable, so you could move it, and 5 years from now you may want to move it. But baby doll come in and put all my canned goods up, and that's exactly what I wanted. It looks perfect, and this is working out real well. And I got a feeling with phase 2, now once I'm probably going to let this stay here a couple of weeks and use it for a while and see how I feel about it, and build the next phase to fit the rest of my kitchen gadgets, which is, there's a lot. I'm looking at more than I want to mess with, and you can't see it, but there's a lot of things that go with these kitchen gadgets that are right here on the floor that I got to figure out. But as far as canned goods, kitchen gadgets, for $207, and it looks pretty good, I could just about put this out, you know, where you can see it if I dress it up just a little bit more, and you can make it look like a custom cabinet. Thanks for watching. Y'all come back to see me. Come watch me cook some stuff in my in case you're watching just for the pantry project. Come watch me use some of these things sometimes. Hey, they'll change the way you cook. I'll guarantee it. Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.